my message today is intend to harmonize, intend to create harmony with all beings in all of the interrelatedness, the intention to create harmony, harmony being that sense of wholeness or that sense of love or unity, not as a social construct necessarily of being nice or anything like that. It doesn't mean not speaking truth or having very firm and rooted beliefs. This goes from the individual belief systems within oneself of what one believes even to be true and correct, and out into the worldly manifestation where there's the conflicting of ideologies and belief systems. This is a root of separation. This is one of the roots of the divisiveness and separation. Not that one does not have opinion, but there is a defining moment to where how it is viewed and how this is held is important, because all of this is the movement of dynamic energy. All of this is the arising and movement of karma. And the conflict is actually inherent in the potential of the awakening. So this is the aspect of the coming to consciousness, the arising of consciousness. One can choose where one is in this. It is not there isn't reaction or even emotional response to anything that's moving. The only thing that is certain is the certainty of change. All of this is moving and changing all the time, and there is this dynamic occurring. So, to intend harmony, the intention to harmonize the mind, equalize the mind, come into equilibrium in relationship to the conflict that arises. The only way the mind can ever have conflict is in relationship to an object. The mind can't have conflict otherwise. If there's no, whether it's an idea, your body, somebody else's opinions, energy. So what is occurring on this very wide scale is this dynamic of this field of very dense emotional reactivity, and that is where most people are stuck. It is not saying there is not reaction. It is not saying there is not the awareness of what is arising, what I'm putting forth today, because the mind is busy manifesting all kinds of things in our lives all the time. We're attending to all kinds of things. Today, I say, intend from now to eternity, because is to intend to harmonize and to intend harmony in your relationships, in all of the interrelatedness, to only intend harmony. This does two things. It harmonizes. I mean, the law of energy is not a respecter of persons. So it harmonizes the mind. It harmonizes your own being. If I don't know if any of you had a look at the written teaching that's up on the website. I announced it in the newsletter. That is a wonderful method for harmonizing, right? So there's many ways to harmonize the energy and to harmonize the attention. So as far as conflict, and then I'll speak a little bit about harmony. As far as conflict, there's internal conflict, external conflict. So what you face in your own mind in relationship to everything, what you face in the external arising of what is conflicting. And this doesn't have to be the world situation. This can be in interpersonal relationships, wherever conflict is showing up. Because if one is in aversion, or if one is, now we can consciously avoid conflict. I mean, if somebody's yelling at you in a parking lot and you're like, excuse me, and then you consciously avoid conflict, that is one thing, and that is excellent, because that is a level of harmonizing. That is a level of not indulging in conflict. And the key to it is being very aware of course, reaction, emotional reaction, which we've talked about. So you have internal conflict, external conflict, or perceived conflict that arises. And then the key point to actualizing that harmony, the key point to the actualization of harmony is what Natone would speak of often, the will to good, goodwill, goodwill. I feel that this is actually what is to be cultivated in terms of what we pay attention to, because that is right human relations is what saves humanity. That's what saves our humanity and the connection to one another and the care for one another. But this arising of this wholeness, this harmonious wholeness of heart, it is this that moves the change for the good. So when there is will to good, will to goodness, and yes, that is to be cultivated. Taming reactivity, not necessarily focusing the mind down onto one particular thing. There are numerous causes and conditions for any one event in the universe. That is very humbling. There are numerous causes and conditions that motivate human beings. That is very humbling. So the harmonious disposition. How do you harmonize? How do you equalize? How do you balance? Because the only thing that gets moved out of balance is the dynamic energy of attention. Where's it going? What's it doing? And this goes back to some of the core teachings. But when you intend harmony in relationship and within your own being, the effects can be miraculous. So that's my message today. Intend harmony, equilibrium, and balance. Balance your own emotional dispositions. Equalize your own reactivity. And wish that harmony and well-being for every sentient being, every single one.